My sisters and brothers, as we take a few moments today to reflect on the beautiful readings that we just heard, as I was praying about them and thinking about them and reading about them, the line that kept coming to me was simply the line of the responsorial psalm. The Lord has shown to the nations his saving power. God is continually showing us his power, his goodness, his love. And then I was asking myself, well, what am I doing with that? And do I really appreciate that? And the thought came to my head, Don Bosco used to say, show me a boy who knows how to say thanks, and I'll show you a boy who's close to God. Show me a boy who knows how to say thanks, and I'll show you a kid that's close to God. How do I say thanks to God? Last Saturday was a busy day, and I was running all around, doing all kinds of things in the office, and I was running because I had to go out in the afternoon, and as I was running out, I saw this package outside the door. The FedEx guy came and delivered it and left it outside the door. And I said, well, this is not a good thing to leave outside. It might rain. Somebody could walk off with it. So I took the package, and it had Father Yori's name on it. So I said, I'll bring it to the house and give it to Father Yori. But I was running around the office, and I put the package down. And I ran back to the house. Well, wouldn't you know that on Sunday, Father Yori sends a text out to the whole community and says, has anybody found a package that has my shoes? All right. And so there I was saying, I know I took the package, and I can't remember where I put it. And so I was running all around, and I kept telling everybody, hoping that I would be forgiven, I took the package, I just don't know where I put it. And everyone was saying, well, no, maybe this other person, maybe you put it down and somebody else took it, maybe you did this and something else happened. And I kept saying, I know I took the package. And then I was getting desperate, and when I really get desperate, when I lose something, there's only one place I go. St. Anthony, please come around. Something is lost and can't be found. And I was desperate, praying to St. Anthony. Find those shoes. Father Yori needs shoes. Find those shoes. And so I'm doing all of this, praying real hard. And in the midst of all of this on Monday afternoon, Brother Donald calls me. And he was running around in the office. And he says, I bet you so-and-so took those shoes. And I said, I know I took the shoes. I had the package. I put the package someplace. And he says, that can't be. You would remember where you put the package. And he was walking around in the office, I suppose. And he walked into the mail room, and as he's telling me that, and I'm saying to him, Don, we really got to pray to St. Anthony because we got to find these shoes. And all of a sudden, he looks down, I guess, because I wasn't there, and he goes, my God, the package is right here in the mail room. I put it down, but I couldn't remember where I put it down. And St. Anthony came through. And it just made me reflect a little bit as I was thinking about that. The amazing things that constantly go on around us. And we're numb to them. That all happened on Monday. I couldn't stop talking about it. Brother Sal is there remembering because I could see by the smile on his face. And then when Tuesday came, and life is just back to normal. I haven't given it another thought. But God is constantly doing amazing things for us. I was reading the other day about a boy who was sitting outside. He was blind. And he was sitting on the street, and he had a sign that said, I'm blind, help. And now and then people would walk by and throw something in. And one man came by, and he saw the sign, and he threw something in, and he took the sign from the boy, and he said, I'm going to put something else on the back. Is it okay? And the boy said, okay. And the man wrote down on the back, "Today's a beautiful day, and I can't see it." And he put it there in the boy's hands. Well, you could be sure by the end of the day, the boy's hat was filled with coins. And when the man came by later on in the day and said to the kid, "How did you do?" He said, "I think there's a lot in my hat. What did you say?" And the man simply said, "I made other people aware of the gift they have." You see, it's one thing to say, "You're blind, help me." It's another thing for me to realize I can see, and I have to be grateful. I can see, and I have to be grateful. When we look at the readings today, that's what they're all about. Gratitude. They're about gratitude, and they're about when I receive something from God, my life should change. We see Naaman, who's healed from leprosy. And Elisha won't take any gifts from him. But Naaman knows that his life has to be different. He cannot go back and be the same. And so he says, "Give me some of the earth from this holy ground, from this place where your God lives." He doesn't know anything about it. He just knows a God. Your God is very powerful. Give me something from where your God is. And for the rest of my life, I know there's only one God, and it's your God, and I'm going to worship on his ground wherever I am. My life has to be different because God has done something great for me. And then we go to the gospel. And the one leper comes back to say thank you. And scripture scholars tell us that verb that is used, that he comes back, that he turns around and goes back to Jesus, that verb means conversion. He's changed his heart. He's going to go back to Jesus because he knows his life can never be the same. God is doing powerful things for him, and he recognizes it, and his life has to change. You know, my sisters and brothers, we're all sitting here this morning, which means we got up. God did something powerful for us today. Is my life changing? Is your life changing? Or are we numb to the amazing things that God does? We just take them for granted and keep going until we're desperate. St. Anthony, find me those shoes. St. Anthony, make that diabetes be well so they don't have to cut off my feet. Ooh. Another story. When we're desperate, we turn to God. But in the ordinary things where God is showing his power constantly and continually, do I turn back to him? Is my life different? Or am I just the same? There's a story, a beautiful story, about this man who was sacristan in a church for many, many, many years. And the people in the parish loved him. He was just a wonderful man, and the people in the parish loved him. But he began to lose his sight, and he was going blind. And he became completely blind in one eye and was losing his sight in his other eye and was becoming blind. And the parish council got with the pastor and they said, we have to do something. We have to try to do something, at least to show our gratitude towards him. Let's send him to Lourdes. And as a parish, let's really pray for a miracle that our Blessed Mother could really help him when he's in Lourdes and he could regain his sight. And so one of the parishioners went with the man to Lourdes because he couldn't see. And he was there in Lourdes praying at the waters. And the third day he was there, he started to bathe his eyes with the water. And as he was bathing his eyes with the water, he suddenly began to feel something happening. And as he was bathing more and more, he could see that in his right eye, he could see perfectly. And he could see that something was happening also in his left eye. And he could see that images or things were beginning to happen in his left eye. And all of a sudden, the man began to scream out, "Stop the miracle! Stop the miracle!" And everybody rushed over to him. And he just kept yelling, "Stop the miracle! Stop the miracle!" And they brought him to the hospitals there in Lourdes to see what was going on. And the doctors were amazed because his right eye was completely cured. And his left eye had some vision. It was beginning to become cured. And so they said to him, "Why did you yell out to stop the miracle?" And the man looked at them as tears ran down his face. And he said, "Because I wanted to make sure that I would never forget to say thank you." Stop the miracle because I wanted to make sure I would never forget to say thank you. Every day is a miracle. Do we forget to say thank you?